This is a quick video breakdown on these three plastic or at least non-metallic knives from Cold Steel. These range in size, they range in utilitarian use, and they also range in concealability. And hopefully this video will save you a bit of time and money because I went out and bought the top 3 selling Cold Steel FGX knives out there and give you a few pros, cons, tips to each of these, and based upon your use, you come to the determination what is best for you. So let's hop right into, first of all, the FGX Boot Blade 1. This is definitely the largest of all of them. If I were to compare it side by side with the ring blade right here, the ring knife, hence the ring on the bottom, you will see that the blade is significantly longer. And then of course, this is the Delta Dart over here, and it's definitely the shortest of all of them, hence the most concealable. But we'll get to that in just a minute. Again, the FGX Boot Blade knife right here, when I first got it in the package, I actually saved the packaging to show you this, there are 2 staples, 1, 2. Now when you get a knife in the mail, you can either use one of the 5 knives in your pants to open it, or if it's like this, you can just kind of fold it over and pop it out. It seems rather redundant to get a knife to open a knife in the packaging. Well, when I did that, you will see that it pushed up like this between the 2 staples. And as it pushed up, it got caught on the 2 staples, and you will see there's a dent there and there's a dent there. Now I admit that could be user error, but I want to point that out to you guys, first of all, because I'm a humble guy. Second of all, the knife itself is not that strong. If 2 little staples could put dents in the edge of the blade, which is not necessarily a blade, then, well, let's just say that this isn't the most sturdy of knives. Matter of fact, that right there makes me uncomfortable. See how much that's bending? But if you are using this for stabby purposes, fantastic. As a matter of fact, I'm going to point out something that the other knives don't have, and that is the rubberized grip. This is very grippy. If I was sweaty, if I was bloody, this is not going anywhere. Again, you're not using it for slashing, you're using it for stabbiness. Another thing that I want to point out, I don't know why Cold Steel does this, but they went to all of this trouble to make these non-metallic. And what do they put on the bottom? Little metal rings. You're going to remove them within 10 seconds of it showing up in the mail. Some of them do actually bend and remove. Others are actually welded together, and so you're going to need a rather sturdy pair of pliers to remove these guys. But right off the bat, so annoying. But anyway, now we're going to be moving on from the Boot Blade to the, let's see, this is the FGX Ring Dagger. And whether or not you want to put your thumb in there like this, which I would not recommend because you want distance management. Manage the distance, you manage the damage, according to Henner Gracie. So I personally would fight like this. Again, very stabby. What I like about this ring knife right here is not necessarily that I'm going to put my pinky in there. I'm probably going to break my pinky if I were to do that. But check out the other side, the tip. See how thicker that is? That tip is reinforced. That's cool compared to the Boot Blade. That's not reinforced on the tip. You see the thickness and the difference? Isn't that interesting? So I would actually recommend this, spoiler alert, above all of them. Now you will notice the serrated edge right there. It's not going to last a long time if you're going to be using this every day to cut through spinach or rope or paracord, but in a pinch it would actually cut through. It is fairly sharp on there. If I were to squeeze that and pull that, that would rip my hand, guaranteed. But personally, I kind of like that serrated access. And if I were to need to cut through some zip ties or some paracord that's maybe tying me up, this would accomplish that absolutely. This Boot Blade, not necessarily. It is kind of sharp on there, but it's going to take a lot more rubbing to try to get through there. So this right here, I would absolutely recommend hands down above all 3 of them. Lastly, what I like about this, there's a giant ring, obviously. It's called the ring knife, and that means that you can hang it easily. So if you're looking for a shower knife that's not rusty, well, at least it won't rust unless, of course, you leave the metal ring on there. Thanks, Cold Steel. But look at that. It just puts it right on there. You can get like a little suction cup and put that right. Can you imagine if someone borrows your shower for some real strange reason? They walk in there, they see your loofah, your soap on a rope, and a knife. If you do that, send me a message. More power to you. You are awesome. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about this little guy right here, the Delta Dart. In terms of concealability, absolutely hands down, this slips into your pocket almost like a pen. Again, you're going to remove the little dinky ring on there. It does have a bit of a textured grip. It's not rubberized. This is textured also, but it's not rubberized. I would say that the non-rubberized nature is probably purposeful so that you can slip this into your boot and actually have it slide out. If something is rubberized, you don't want something rubbing against your calf all day long, unless you wear 2 pairs of socks and it's just slipped between both pairs of socks. But that's just a lot of weight. It just seems redundant. Check this out. This is really cool. So you will see that the Delta Dart, hence why it's called Delta, you see the 3 points, 1, 2, 3. It's not actually flat like a conventional blade like this. Well, technically this has like maybe 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see this one right here, the boot blade. See how flat that is? This is not flat. And so the blade is rather thick, and I couldn't really quite tell on the Amazon listing. I was kind of looking at it going, so what the eyes are playing tricks on me right here. So this is designed for stabbiness. I mean, all of them are, but this one especially, the entry wound is going to be very, very small. And so if you're really actually going to use this for self-defense, be prepared psychologically to get stabby 20, 30, 40 times until, of course, you feel safe and the threat is neutralized. I'm not giving any kind of legal advice here, but the point is that that it's small. And it's concealable, but certainly not as burly as this, which would leave quite a bit of damage in just 3 or 4 stabs. This one is going to take a lot more. This is more like a prison shank, this shiv right here. But that's it. So overall, don't use these to sneak through the airport or anything like that. I'm not saying you should. If you are going to go through the airport, use something like this. My wife carries these. They're tactical hair clips. They're basically multi-tools. She's gone on dozens of international trips all around the world. They don't actually trip the metal detector, and even if they do, they're not blades because the edge is not sharp like these guys. They're just hair clips that happen to also be multi-tools. And these are pretty cool. Raptor claw, hawk bill type point right there. Very, very handy. But anyway, I'm not here to sell those. I'm here to simply demonstrate these guys. So overall, I would say the ring knife right here, the middle of the road, is the most utilitarian, and I just really love the features on this guy. This one feels nice, but that boot knife, it's just, I mean, that just bends so much. That just makes me so uncomfortable. And lastly, in terms of concealability, EDC, the Delta Dart, when it comes down to it, if you can't fit any of these guys, you'll probably be able to fit this somewhere, at least somewhere appropriate. That's it. Hopefully this video saves you a bit of time. Go have fun.